Hey y'all, it's Kate, and today I'm going to be doing a review, spoiler-free review, for Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. Fallen Kingdoms takes place in a world called Mythica, a fantasy world, where it is divided into three kingdoms, Limros, Auranos, and Pelsia. And these three kingdoms all experience a different kind of wealth and environment, and they're all kind of clashing in this novel, I guess. So the book follows four points of view. Magnus, Jonas, Cleo, and Alexius. Sometimes Alexius. Alexius is something called a Watcher, which is like a supernatural, kind of, not really supernatural, I mean like non-mortal being who lives in a place called the Sanctuary, and they can take the form of hawks to come down to the mortal world and watch mortals. So that's what Alexius is in this book, so he just pops in every now and then. Jonas is a Pelsian, and Pelsia is kind of in poverty and they're struggling at their current condition. Magnus is the Limerian prince, so he has some problems of his own currently, and his father is known as a king of blood, and that comes in a lot in the book. Cleo is Princess Cleona, and she is the princess of Auranos, well, one of two princesses. And her struggle in this novel also kind of ties into everybody else, and that's kind of a recurring theme, is that they all kind of connect throughout the novel. Limros is said to be a land that is very cold, and it's always frozen, and it's just, I don't know, that's my personal favorite kingdom out of this novel, because I love it. The setting, I guess you could say. Auranos is the land of prosperity. They are like filled with resources and grass and greens and all this stuff, and like a golden castle, you know, it's perfect basically. Pelsia, of course, like I said, is poverty, and they rely on their vineyards for money, which is what the Auronians gave to them, I guess, to appease them. I forget exactly how that went, but that's what they had to earn their money. I really enjoyed this book. On Goodreads, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. In reality, I would say it's probably a 4.75 out of 5 stars, simply because I had a couple issues, but they weren't like huge issues that really affected my reading process, so I really enjoyed the book despite my several issues with it. Normally, I don't like books with multiple points of view, but this book was a rare exception to that, because I felt that the points of view, each one gave me a different side on a situation. And when I think I was siding with one person, then I would see the other side of the situation, and I'd be like, whoa, they both have equally valid points of view and equally valid standpoints, and how do you choose? It's a very political side to it that you don't get in a lot of books. A lot of the books that I read, they just have one side, and you think the other person is just the bad guy or whatever, but that's not true. It's so not true. Morgan Rhodes is ruthless with her deaths, I must say. She kills so many people in this book, and I feel like it's gonna be like that through the entire series, because she just does not care, you know? She will kill off people in line. There's probably a hit list or something that she has, I swear. I will say that I predicted most of the deaths that happened, and that's because what she does is the characters that die are actually, in my opinion, less developed than the other characters of the novel. So the thing is that I had a feeling something would happen, because when I was reading about these certain characters, I just didn't feel connected to them. And I was like, man, I really just forgot what they look like. I don't even know what their personality is like, because all they do is talk to this person every now and then. And it just didn't really work out for me, I guess. And I felt like what she should have done is develop them just as much as the other characters, so that when they died, I actually felt the impact of it. Because honestly, when they died, I felt no impact. It did not affect me whatsoever. I mean, some of them I was like, oh, that's a little sad. But other ones I was like, whatever. Along the same line, I predicted most of the plot twists that happened, but it was enjoyable because whenever they happened, I was like, yep, knew it was coming, I knew it, there it is. So the plot twists were good, but predictable, if you know what I mean. The whole book is basically a build-up to the very end, and no spoilers or anything, but it's just a build-up, and in the end there's a giant climax, and everything just like breaks apart, and it's like the world explodes. Not literally, I'm just using a metaphor for the situation. Everything just culminates into this giant climax that you didn't even realize you were missing the entire book, even though when you look back, it wasn't a whole lot of action throughout the entire book. It was just a lot of political stuff and a lot of world building and all this stuff. And then at the end, when this giant climax happens, you're like, whoa, I just realized that this is the action of the book. The whole time, I was really unsure of who to ship. I didn't know who I wanted to be with who. There's only one ship I was sure of, and it's very problematic in the book, so it was kind of heartbreaking a little bit. But other than that, I didn't know who to ship. I didn't know what was meant to be. I mean, I had like ideas, but then they would just go the other direction, and I was like, whatever, I give up. Because it's multiple points of view, sometimes you know something that one of the other characters doesn't, and they're trying to figure it out, and it's so frustrating because you just want to tell them because this other character knows, and you just like, just tell, like when do they meet up and just tell each other the truth, you know? It's too much for me sometimes, and that's good writing. I mean, it's meant to be that way, and it's not a complaint. I'm just commenting that it's very frustrating. The writing of this book flows really well, and for a fantasy book, it's really easy to read. So if you're just wanting to get into fantasy, this is a good one to start with because it's very easy to read and it flows like water. It's so easy. My favorite kingdom by far is Lemuros, and my favorite character is Magnus, which he is the Lemurian prince, so that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, those are my favorite things about this book. Those are all my thoughts on Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. It was a very good book, and it has a very nice cover, and I liked it a lot. And if you are interested in this book in any way, shape, or form, then I would definitely recommend it to you wholeheartedly, even though there were some things I predicted. But overall, it was an amazing book, and it was thoroughly entertaining, and I loved it. So that's all for today, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!